22. My name is Corinne Kunert. I currently work at Applied Medical, which is a surgical tool manufacturer, and I'm a production artist for them within the branding department. I graduated in June 2015 in GRC as a packaging concentration.
My name is Ken McEnroe. I'm a professor and chair of the Graphic Communication Department here at Cal Poly. I am not a Cal Poly grad. I am in fact a Penn State grad.
Hi, I'm Mikkel Sandberg. I graduated from GRC in summer of 2015. My concentration was Web and Digital Media. I'm currently working at Experts Exchange here in SLO, and I'm a front-end web developer.
Hi guys, my name is Megan Legg, and I'm working for Hemlock Printers. If you remember them from Career Day, they're the Canadian guys that print Lorraine's favorite kinfolk and The Great Discontent. I was hired as a U.S. sales representative for their Walnut Creek offices. I graduated recently in December with a degree in GRC and a concentration in DRT.
I get a little giggly when I'm I'm an assistant professor.
I'm Lindy Singh. I'm the director of the Graphic Communication Institute at Cal Poly.
So what was your first impression of diversity within the industry or when you started working at Cal Poly?
I mean, I remember when I first started as a woman in tech, I was told things like, girls can't code, honey, get me coffee, when I was the head of a project. And you know, I would meet with this one firm that I worked for, I designed for colleges and universities, and so I was the head of a project, and I would go and meet with the president, and then the people that I worked with would do really inappropriate things, slap me in the butt, tell me to go get coffee, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that doesn't happen anymore, thank God. And so there's a lot more females involved, which is good, and it's just kind of understood that like maybe a female can take a role that is the head of more of a leadership role,
Right.
And that she can actually understand and technology and make something like that come to fruition.
So my first impression of diversity within the industry was that it was a bunch of white males. We always joke about that. But within my company, it was a pleasant surprise. I feel like it's diverse between genders. My team specifically is the majority women, but our multimedia team is men, and the print shop, it's men, and we all work together as one big team. And between the engineers and the market researchers I work with, it seems pretty split. Ethnicity-wise, I don't think you could pick a majority. Even in age, we range in age all across the board. Being able to have that comfort within my team of who I am and where I come from, I think has made it a lot easier to work together.
It actually turned out to be a lot more diverse than I thought it would be. Going into it knowing, our customers are typically technology professionals, a lot of IT people, who need our site to help them do certain parts of their job. So I thought, okay, it's probably going to mostly be white men. That was just how I perceived it. But it turned out that we actually we serve a lot of people all over the world. We have a number of customers in India, in Europe, in South Africa. And so it was really cool to be a part of a team where we make this product that meets so many different people's needs.
Number one, I'm sure you've heard about in class and talked about, is the age difference. There's something in my company I think we all celebrate, because there's people like me and Jerry and Stephanie, 22, 25, 28, and we know how to design for print, so we can talk about Creative Cloud and talk to designers about building die lines or how to make a part of your design embossed so the file is good for print. There's that piece, the young kind of guys, and then maybe the older who have this really good experience with printing and know presses and how paper will react and how the ink will lay down, and over time how the product will last. The best way to bind something, and it's really important that we have those two skill sets, because we can take what someone's thinking in their mind and bring it to life. My company definitely celebrates this diversity we have. It's a really important piece that makes us have this really good quality of print at the end.
When I first came to the department, which was in the 80s, all of the professors were men and white. When I came back in the late 90s, it has become there were more female instructors and also more ethnicity, so I appreciated that.
My first impression of diversity in the industry is that there was absolutely no impression because there was no diversity in the industry. It was predominantly white men in administration roles, and then maybe Hispanic and or African American men that were being used to deal with some of the production, and a lot of women, African American women and maybe Hispanic women were being used to do handwork, piecework.
In what ways would you consider Cal Poly diverse? Or wherever you work.
When I first started working at Cal Poly, my feeling about maybe not the GRC department, but as Cal Poly as a whole, is that there isn't a lot of diversity just at first glance. Because I come from like bigger cities where there's a lot of diversity. My parents are from a different country. Within the profession, again, I think it's kind of based on location. And so I've worked in places like Chicago and north of New York City, so there's a lot of diversity in those places. I think specifically Cal Poly, I think that there's more acceptance of like sexual orientation. More, you know, I mean, I've never worked at a campus where there was gender-neutral bathrooms, for example. So I think that's kind of interesting. And then it just, people are just more accepting, I think, of that sort of thing. I would say in San Luis Obispo, at a glance, there really isn't as much. Mm-hmm.
And then just even within my company, gender-wise, we're split pretty even. The majority of our sales and marketing and conversion team are women. There's a few female developers, engineers, and front-end developers, and then the majority of developers are men. But all in all, we're pretty evenly split. And even ethnicity-wise and belief and faith and all these different aspects of diversity, we're pretty different. And it's really cool to sort of work together to build something like this.
Yes, I would. I think it should have been more diverse. And the interesting thing is, I was telling you before you sat down here, is that I had some students that come through, and I walk around with their parents, and I stop over at our history banners that we've recently put on the wall. And by the way, if you haven't checked out the banners, you need to do that. They're along the far wall over there by Colleen Toomey's office. You need to do that. But but when you look at it, and you look at how we started in the 1940s, we were all a bunch of white guys, right? And now you look to the year 2010, 2015, 2016, and we're 75% female in the department. So I'm hoping that the industry will eventually catch up to that, but I don't think it has at this point.
Yeah, it's just that the ethnicities here, there's more Asians and there's more Latinos, but there's not a lot of African Americans, and that sort of bothers me.
Yeah.
It's still kind of vanilla.